You built a platform to help a healthcare professional. Why you want to focus only on healthcare professionals?
Specifically, I'm focusing on like CRNAs. I got approached by other CRNAs who were kind of like, you doing this? Why are you not educating us in the CRNA community? To become a certified registered nurse, it takes a certain level of discipline. But most of us get out of school and we start making all this money and we know nothing to do with it. Right? My goal is to empower my CRNA colleagues to have that understanding of what is available to them.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paths of Progress. I'm your host Alex Kononov, and today's guest has one of the most inspiring transition stories in this industry. A story about living comfort of stable, high-income healthcare career to build generational wealth and help others to do the same. Leslie Awasom is a CRNA, a multifamily investor and CEO and co-founder of Accredited Capital, and the founder of the Empowered CRNA. He's helped acquire over 240 million in multifamily assets, build educational platforms for healthcare professionals, and continues to bridge the gap between clinical careers and financial freedom. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Oh man, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
No, of course, I'm excited to finally have it with you. So, Leslie, let's start from the very beginning. For someone who doesn't know you, where did your real estate journey begin?
So my real estate journey goes way back to like 2015, 2016. Like most people, I had followed the traditional path, which is to go to school, get a job, you know. So I went to school. I got a nursing degree in my undergrad, but realized that that wasn't all that I wanted. So what is there? What is the more to do is to go to school, get a higher degree, and get a better job, which is what I did. Became an anesthesia provider. I went to anesthesia school, became a certified registered nurse anesthetist. And I graduated back in 2014. And early on in my career, I was one of those people that was working extremely hard, putting in all the overtime because I had been out of work for 2 years going to school. So I wanted to catch up for that. And I found myself spending a lot of time in the hospital. And I started questioning if this is the way I wanted to live the rest of my life, you know. And when you get in that questioning mode, then you want to start seeking more information to see if there's anything else out there. That's when I came across the works by Robert Kiyosaki. His very first book that I read was Second Chance at Your Money and Your Life, which kind of opened my mind to how the US financial system works, answered a lot of the questions that I had about finances, about building wealth, and all of that. And one of the things he talked about was real estate. You know, one of the things he mentioned in the book is like a lot of millionaires have been created through real estate in the US, and real estate is one of the most efficient ways of creating long-term wealth. So, I figured, well, I have nothing to lose. I have a job, I have a good salary, so at least I could bet on myself right now. Worst case scenario, I'm going to go back to providing anesthesia in the hospital, and that's exactly what I did. So started investing in single family real estate because my goal in getting into real estate has always been to create long-term wealth, not to like for a quick win or to make quick money or anything like that, more long-term. So buying rental properties made more sense to me. So got into that, started single family real estate investing. Then along the way, I met my two co-founders, Dr. Julius Oni and Tenny Tolofari, and we discovered the power of investing in larger apartment buildings, realizing that a lot of people in our community, that's our professional community, did not even know that this asset class is available to them. We created Excite Capital to fill that gap, to be able to have a platform where we could educate other busy professionals how you could go about investing in real estate without being involved in the day-to-day management.
I like it, but I think you could jump real quick from, hey, I'm just investing in single family to, I just found out this multifamily is existing and I went right to multifamily. I mean, there is a big gap, right, between single family homes, a couple hundred, 300, 500,000 investment versus multifamily 10x, 20x, 100x worth of that. So tell us, how did you make this jump? I understand you found this co-founder. Did you go to some event or did you hire a mentor? What was your step here?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was doing the single family stuff because that's what I was comfortable with, right? So I had bought a home, I did the BRR model, and that worked out great. My very first investment, that worked out really well. So I was excited, and the goal for me was to do more of those, all right? Maybe buy more properties, do a BRR, take out the money that I made from the refi, and buy another property. And that's what I was on the journey of doing. Then one day my wife came home and said, hey, we've been talking about changing our life insurance policies or upgrading our life insurance policy. I met this guy at my clinical rotation because my wife is a nurse practitioner as well. Like, and he was talking to us about life insurance. He seems very knowledgeable. I think you should meet him. I was like, I don't want to meet another life insurance agent. What are you talking about? But she insisted. So that person was Tenny Tolofari, who is my partner right now at Excite Capital. When he came to the house, we were having a conversation about insurance. Then it turned into some of the books that we were reading at that time because I was deep into financial education and personal development. And we realized that we were reading the book. There was a book written on Elon Musk by Ashley Vance, one of the first books on Elon Musk. And we were reading that same book at the same time. So we connected on that and actually became accountability buddies. Like the cash flow board game you see back here, Alex.
I just want to talk
Tenny
about
and I,
it.
yeah, Tenny and I used to meet every Friday evening and just play that board game and talk business and talk what is going on in the insurance business, what I'm doing in real estate, and just learn about each other. We did that for about 8 months. Then before he was like, okay, you getting ready to buy another property. I've always wanted to be in real estate. Why don't we partner up and do this together? It's like amazing. This guy has a lot of skills, a lot of attributes that I don't have. He's an extrovert. I'm more of an introvert. Definitely going to be a great partner. So we decided to partner up and go into real estate. But when we did, we started asking ourselves, okay, what asset class in real estate do we want to focus in on? Now, the single family real estate investing is what I was accustomed to, is what I was comfortable with. So the goal was to go out and buy more of these single family homes and put tenants in there. Then we started doing more research. We looked into assisted living because healthcare is a background that I'm familiar with, maybe buying assisted living homes and putting patients in there. That also seemed like a viable option. Then we came one day, I can't forget that day. I was driving and Tenny called me and said, hey, I'm going to shoot you a text with a login for this material. Listen to it, then call me back. We'll talk. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, just go listen to it. And it was a $97 tape from Grant Cardone that he purchased. And in that tape, Grant Cardone was talking about multifamily investing, buying apartment buildings to a syndication. It's something that I was never familiar with. I had never heard about it before. But that was so intriguing because it's like, wait, this is like an amazing way to invest in real estate and still have a business. If I don't know about it, how many other people in our community don't know about it? That's where that idea of Excite Capital got born. And Tenny and I initially started, right? The platform. And when we started the platform, the very first person that I had in mind to go talk to go introduce this amazing asset class to was Dr. Julius Oni, who him and I worked in the hospital as an orthopedic surgeon, and I'm a nurse anesthetist. When he'll be doing surgery, I'm putting the patient to sleep, and we're talking about business. So became friends that way. So when I introduced this to him, he looked at it and was like, you know what? This is something that is really needed. It's powerful stuff. I don't want to be an investor. I just don't want to be an investor. I want to be an active partner. So he came on board and then we started. But to your point, Alex, it didn't just go from creating Excel Capital to buying our first $20 million deal. It took a lot of work.
A lot of
Our
work,
first
a lot
year,
of time, and a lot of education. I think it's important for me, for people, our listeners, to understand there should be steps in between those, and these steps is what we actually looking forward to hear more. And let me just rewind a little bit. So your first in you started investing in small residential space, and then you started networking more with someone who also like-minded business, not necessarily in real estate, in different businesses, and you connected and you started to look out in each other, understanding what's going on in each other's life. Business is business, and you want to hear what others people doing, and then you warm up to each other through the games. You understand you're on the same level, on the same frequency for business, for mentality, for growth, for financial freedom. And he's like, okay, let's try this real estate game. But now, like, okay, what will be the maximum impact for it? And then you start digging even more, like what kind of asset classes out there. You heard one thing, you seen another thing, and it just universe keep pushing to you multifamily. And you're saying, okay, it's just like one house, but it's 100 houses under one roof. And now it's economy of scale, and now it's just we doing with the same amount of effort. Instead of buying one house at a time, we can focus on one property per year, let's say, or like two per year, and keep accumulating this in a much more meaningful way. and now you also have another coworkers bringing to the team, and you putting together a team of people. It's not like you just jump from, hey, single family home to I'm a multifamily investor. There is a lot of little micro steps. It's very important. Everyone's journey is unique, but yours is specific based on education. You didn't try to speed up this process. You try to do very carefully, one step at a time. Some people jump into partnerships right away. It took you 8 months to get to know first partner. And I think it's a very valuable lesson here.
You're absolutely right. It takes time. I think don't underestimate the value of time and what you could learn with time. But what I tell people is the most important thing is like once you start, don't stop, right? Just keep going. It takes time. Like I'll share you the story of when Tenny and I met. When we met, we were both on that journey where we were ferocious learners. We were reading books every week on business and different things and being accountable to each other and meeting and talking about it and learning, right? So even when we started, said we're going to get into real estate, we started a meetup. We started seeking mentors, like people in the space, join other mentorship groups, join masterminds, read a lot of books, take a lot of courses, but most importantly, kept taking action. Like that's why I say, like the very first year of us starting a business, nothing happened. We did not close any deal. We did not raise any funds, but there has never been a single day since I met Tenny back in 2017 that we haven't had a conversation about real estate or about business or about some kind of growth. And all of that compounds over time. You hit the nail on the head, Alex. It's about you growing yourself, right? You grow yourself to that level where you're able now to start being open to that kind of, you start seeing the opportunities that are available to you. You start attracting those right set of people that are being your path. Because if Tenny and I had not grown ourselves to that level, we will not be in partnership with Dr. Oni, right? Because him and I worked in the same hospital for a few years. It wasn't until we started on this journey of growth, building this platform. Now build something of value that made sense now that is on his same level of vibration now, and we could work on that and build something amazing together. So yeah, you absolutely right about that. It takes time.
And I think it's also wicked important that it's okay not to know your final destination as long as you go to the right direction. For example, you'll have financial freedom when you knew you cannot just be in comfort of your job. You need to do something about investment and about business. You like the idea of real estate, but the shape of your business shapes throughout the years, right? It wasn't like, hey, first year single family, I'm gonna do multifamily. Person multifamily, I'm gonna do all of that. But your mentality and your goals shapes throughout the way. As long as you met people, you heard Grant Cardone's speech on the multifamily, heard this, and now like, okay, this is better. Now this is a little better. Now this is what I want to do. And now along the way, you build your strategy and you bring more people on board because you know, okay, I'm missing this piece, and now I'm missing this piece, and now we have a full team stack.
Absolutely. The exact capital you see today is not the same exact capital that existed back in 2019. And That's very important because somebody else that's trying to get in the industry, they see what we build and they're like, oh, they want all of that, like the first day,
Right
right?
away.
No, yeah, it doesn't happen like that. It takes time. It's like you make adjustments along the way, you make mistakes along the way, but the most important thing is, like I said, is that you don't stop and you are committed to whatever goal that you have here. But we've made a lot of improvements. We've met some really, really amazing people in the industry. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing investors, learn from them, had some really, really amazing mentors. It's I feel blessed. It's been an amazing journey so far, but to your point, Alex, we're just getting started. There's still a long leeway of growth that we gotta achieve, so there's still a lot of work left to be done. But it's a fun journey. It's a fun part to be. The good thing about this journey is like there's no ceiling to your growth, right? For example, if you have a job you're working at, for example, some company, whatever, the ceiling to your growth at that company is maybe like the CEO. Once you get there, there's nothing else that you can do, right? And that's how it is for a lot of careers. But on the journey of entrepreneurship, there really is no ceiling. You go as far as you want to go, and that's the thing that I enjoy the most about because I'm always seeking to grow.
Yes, it not only ceiling of you said it right. You're always seeking to grow, so you always open minded to new opportunities. Every day in real estate, myself and everyone that I knew along the way who's well established in real estate, they learn every day something new. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Even though people who have been in real estate for 20, 30 years, they're like, yeah, man, I never heard about this strategy, or I never done this before. This is very interesting. And I'm like, wow. I mean, there's potential real estate. There's so much real estate. There's so many people out there. People always need to live somewhere, right? And
Yeah.
real estate has this magnificent, touch of American dream also embedded to the whole lifestyle and business in general. So this is something that we like. So tell me this, between your W-2 job, and I know you told me it's taken a lot of time to do that. How did you manage to build in this business?
It just did it. You know, like I wish because people ask me this a lot, I wish I could come and say, hey, it was structured this way, structured this way, structured this way, and then every day was like this, every day was like that. But the reality is, doesn't work that day. It doesn't work that way. So for me, one of the strategies that I did implement that helped me out a lot was like waking up every day and being intentional about three things that I wanted to accomplish for my business that day, right? So just having three things that I wanted to accomplish for the business that day that aligns with our goals, and then just go out, go to work, and figure out whatever gap time that I have to be able to do that, right? I was working 60, 70 hours a week while we were building this business, right? I never really ever slowed down at no point during while I was working until I left in March of 2024. Some other thing that I did is I kind of moved my schedule around. I was blessed. I'm lucky that I was in a healthcare field. As an anesthesia provider, we could work 16, 24-hour shifts where we spend time in the hospital. So some of the things that I started doing was picking up shifts that nobody else wanted, right? Like I'll go to work for 24 hours on a Sunday. Nobody wants that shift because they want to be at home with their family on Sundays, but I didn't mind doing it, making that sacrifice. And a lot of times during those Sunday shifts, what we tend to is like emergencies. So it was not unusual to go to work one day and then you have like a 5, 8 hours of lag time when you're not doing anything. And that time I'm using to study, to educate myself, to read books, to work on other things, learn how to underwrite, you know. So this is some of the things that I did. It's just like just fitting time wherever you found it, right? Wherever I could have like any kind of gap time. If I'm at work, there's like a break in between cases. I have a little break. I'm sitting in a corner somewhere looking at something in real estate, reading something in real estate, talking to an investor. So we just did what had to get done, right? Some days you'll come back from work. There was at one point where I was teaching an underwriting class, right? And every Tuesday evening, I would leave work at 7 p.m., drive home, take a shower, and by 8 p.m. I'm on my computer. And I'm teaching that until 10 p.m. at night. And I get up and I go to sleep and I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I start my day and I plan for the next day, right? It's just, you just do what needs to get done and move forward. So for me, it was just like I had seen the light. I had seen this expanse of possibility that was available to me. So I was ready to do whatever it takes to move forward and then just take it one day at a time and keep moving forward. And it also helped to have partners that when you take one step, they're taking 3 or 4 steps. So you got to catch up, right? So you see your partners working extremely hard as well. So you got to do it. For example, our CEO, Dr. Julius Oni, he's an orthopedic surgeon. He was one of the busiest orthopedic surgeons in Baltimore. But when we had a deal, or when we had a deal under contract, you see him on the phone making 100, 200 phone calls to make sure that we get that deal to the finish line. So when you have those kind of partners that you're working with, and it's and part of the reason is because of the why, the vision, understanding that we're providing this value to our community, people that we see at work every day that did not have access to this, just kept pushing us forward, and then you just did what you had to do and kept taking it one day at a time.
Love it, love it. So first advice for people who has W-2 job: find the gaps in your schedule and rearrange your schedule so you can utilize unused space and educate yourself. Education is number one
Absolutely.
cornerstone to progress in this space. Number two, I think it's important that you found what you love. Real estate, you love real estate. You're passionate about real estate. So even when you come home at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you're still ready to talk about real estate. Like myself, I can be beat up, tired. I can shovel, I can do whatever. But when I talk to real estate, my energy back to 100, and I can yap about it for another 5 hours. And I think
Yep.
that's the beauty of it. And it's very energizing us. It's exciting. And what I love about real estate community and investors like yourself is everyone's so open-minded, so ready to talk about it, educate other people. It's not only about, hey, I know how to do it. I'm not going to share with anyone. No, the mentality in real estate is actually opposite. You want to educate as many people as possible. We want as many people as possible to be successful and progress in the space, because if everyone around us is on that level, it just makes it much way better.
I agree, 1000%. I think you kind of summarized it in a much more structured way. I love it, right? So and anybody can do that too. There's like a temptation to believe that, oh, I have a W-2 job, or in my case, you have a family, you have kids to feed, that you cannot go after, you cannot do this. I think we have proven that it doesn't matter what stage you are, you can get it done. All three of us had families when we started this business. All three of us, while we were building this business, we've had kids, we've had family emergencies, we've had everything else happen. But we just keep trugging along and keep pushing it. The most important thing is a compound effect. Every day you get up, you do something towards your business. Every day you get up, you do something towards your business, and it compounds. And then it gets to a point now where the business has grown, where you're able to pull yourself more out of your W-2 job and focus on that.
100%. The baby steps to the right direction. This is what makes a whole difference. But it's what consistency is actually making it happen for us. I think those creating this habit of working the direction, I think make a whole difference on the entire journey in general. So like you seen like analogy, like when you have a water dripping from the faucet, at some point the bucket will be full. It's inevitable.
Absolutely. Yep.
So that's what we're doing one day at a time. Okay, now
Yes,
let's
sir.
talk about your company Excite. So your first multifamily property, you already bought with this partnership?
Yes. Our very first deal was actually like a co-GP where we raised funds to be part of our bigger deal, $19 million deal in DC. That we had the opportunity to partner with one of our mentors on. That was our very first deal as a co-GP. We raised a little bit over $700,000. And then after that, we moved into acquiring a 132 unit building in Columbia, South Carolina for $12.55 million as lead sponsors. And things have just picked up from there. And to date, we've acquired total 243 million of assets.
So let's invite first project, right? Why did you decide to raise for someone else, and how did you find those co-GPs?
So it was our mentor, Dr. Vikram Raya, who was mentoring us at the time into the space. So we decided to do that because uh, before you want to go and start taking on the responsibility of taking capital from other investors, now you got to remember our investors are our colleagues, these are people, these are friends, these are family members. So we want to make sure that we are good stewards of their investments. So the first thing we want to do is align with somebody that is already in the industry that has that experience, right? It gives us the opportunity to be part of the back end. Being that co-GP opened us to the ability to be part of the asset management team, understanding how you manage these businesses, how you deal with challenges, how you navigate any kind of challenges that come along the way. And it also helps in building your credibility because, as you know, Alex, this is a very tight-knit space, right? So, for you to get the attention of a broker in the marketplace, you got to show some kind of credibility, ability to close that you've closed on a deal. So being a co-GP on a deal gives you the ability to represent that deal as part of your deals with the brokers, and it helps with your credibility. So that opened up a lot of doors for us because we're able to get a lot of, as ferocious learners as we are, we were pounding our mentors and our partners every day. We want to do the work, we want to do this, we want to do more. So that gave us the ability to learn how you manage these assets in the back end and gave us the confidence to be able to go back to our investors and say, you know what, we have this taken care of, we have everything that we need. Let's go after our own assets as lead sponsors. And we did, and it was a great success because we were able to exit out of that asset and investors made 29.97% average annual return.
Nice, nice. And it does make sense, right? When broker, you talk to broker, and for them to deal with a newbie who haven't been in the space versus someone who was at some capacity involved in the deal, it doesn't really matter what capacity you've been, as long as you've been through the process, you understand the pieces, you've talked and you network and you have network to achieve this kind of success. and buying a property of this size is already a success. And now you already have this instant credibility to continue journey on your own. So your first property as a lead sponsor, tell us about that. How did you find the deal, and what was your process? What did you do on the deal, and did you have to find another partners to help with other pieces?
That's a good question. So that deal came from broker relationships. A lot of credit to our director of acquisitions and chief growth officer, Mr. Tenny Tolofari, because he played a significant role in finding this asset. So Tenny actually drove. Tenny lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. He drove to Charleston, South Carolina to meet with the broker. He drove 3 hours one way to have a 15-minute meeting with the broker and drive 3 hours the opposite way. So when the broker realized that he had put in that much effort to meet him for 15 minutes, the broker was like, you know what? I've never seen this kind of tenacity before. I'm going to give you guys a shot, but you only get one shot. And if you mess up, that's up to you. You messed up your shot. We're like, that's all we need, just one shot. So he brought us this deal. It's a 132 unit building in Columbia, South Carolina, which was a market that we had been scouting. We had been scouting for months. Tenny was on ground driving those markets, touring deals and all of that. So when this one came in, we underwrote it and the deal penciled. I remember I was like, oh my God, there's got to be something wrong with my underwriting. I looked at the underwriting. I went and hired like a third party professional underwriter, gave him the deal. He underwrote it and he penciled even higher than what I was penciling at. I'm like, no, 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 this doesn't make any sense, you know? So we had our mentors look at it, had other people vet it, and the deal penciled. So we're excited. This is what we've been looking for. We presented to our community. Our community loved the deal. You know, at that point, we had built significant relationships in the industry because we started this business February of 2019. Our first deal as lead sponsors was in April of 2021. So at that point, we had been working extremely hard. We built significant relationships in the industry. So I reached out to some of those relationships. One of them is Chris Lento, who is a very experienced asset manager, and asked him if he wanted to partner with us on the deal, and which he agreed to. He came on board, and then we all partnered up on the asset management side. So one of the things that we pride ourselves with doing is like identifying the best people in the industry that we can work with, right? Our goal is to align ourselves with the top experts in the industry that we could work with on these assets, and that's exactly what we did for this property. So we brought in most of the investment capital from our investors to close the deal, but we also gave the opportunity for other people that were part of the that were getting in the industry to come in and be partners on the deal as well. So they came in and helped on the asset management side and also became co-general partners on the deal. For that deal, we raised a total $5.3 million and closed it relatively quickly. Value add deal, did really well. Investors did really well on that deal.
Are you exited already from that property?
Yeah, we exited from that deal. We were supposed to hold the deal for 5 years, and we had projected 18.5% average on our return to our investors. We ended up holding that deal for 22 months, bought it for 12.5 million, sold it for 17.8, and our investors made 29.97% average on our return.
Nice. Those stories is really golden. I like how you went from hey, I'm part of this co-GP deal to you looking for the right deal. And you know, many folks think, okay, I'm gonna get into multifamily, I'm gonna find this deal tomorrow. It's not how it works. Sometimes it takes years to find the right deal. But if you look at right, that's when you find the right one, your light bulb will light up, and you're like, okay, this is actually something that finally it works. This is what happened to me when I was looking for my small residential stuff, and I underwrote 500 properties through and there. But when I found the right one, I'm like, wow. And I just start hunting that market down. And the same in multifamily. I love it. I love it. And the terms you had some projections for it, so you didn't overpromise, right? But you have your conservative underwriting in place. You stress test the deal. You showed you consulted with other parties, but then when you had opportunity to exit and over deliver, you just executed in a spotlight, and I bet everyone was happy with that.
Yeah, all the investors were very happy, and you made a good point, right? I tell people that this is multifamily investing, is real estate investing, is not buying real estate. If you want to buy an apartment complex, you could go tomorrow and buy whatever is available. But if you're investing, you got to find one that has the numbers that meet the strategy and the goals that you have for your investors. And that takes time. For example, between 2022 and 2024, we did not close a single deal. But in that same period of time, we were underwriting at least 6 deals a week. We were reviewing about 50 deals a week and underwriting at least 6 deals a week, but we did not close the deal. So it takes time to be able to find the right opportunities for sure. Yeah, that first deal went really well. It went according to plan, even exceeded our plan with our value add strategy because we got in a market that was growing and we were able to capitalize on that growth and do some really good stuff.
Okay, Leslie, but here's a question. When did you decide to quit your job, right? You working a lot, you underwriting 6 deals per week with your team. Now you have one successful deal. Was it after your first successful deals that you decided, okay, I'm gonna double down all my time and energy into it? Or did you have to build some war chest to it?
No, 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 no. We had more deals after that. After we closed the View at St. Andrews, the 132 unit deal, we closed another deal with our mentors again, a $76 million deal in South Bend, Indiana, 400 units. Then after that, we closed on another property in Columbia, South Carolina called Land Bank Loves, 113 unit building. After that, we closed another property in Atlanta, Ascena Stone Mountain. Then another property in Baltimore, 101 Elwood. Then we exited out of the first one that we got in Columbia, South Carolina. So the moment when I decided to quit my job is not when we had bought all these deals or when we sold the deals. Actually, when we sold the deal and made a huge profit, we invested 100% of our profits back into the business to foster the growth of the business. We brought in more team members, invested more in our marketing and our visibility so that we could keep growing, right? So, but when I decided to move away from my job was around when we were closing, when we got one of our largest acquisitions on the contract, which was Grove Park View, a $49.1 million acquisition. So you get to that point where it's like you decide where you want to focus in on, right? Do I want to keep focusing partially on this platform, or do I want to go all in on this platform and grow it to a higher level? And we have that responsibility to our investors as well, who are trusting us, who are partnering with us on this asset. As the lead asset manager on our deals, I needed to spend that time on our deals to help it grow. Now, here's a key part. I hear a lot of people say, when you grow your business to be able to replace your income from your job, that's when you leave. Now, as an anesthesia provider, my income in my job is very high. It's going to be impossible for me to build a business that replaces that income without me focusing 100% on that business. It's impossible, especially for us high income earning healthcare professionals. For you to build a business that will be able to replace that income, you have to be 100% focused on it. So I struggled with that decision a little bit, but got to the point where I understood that our business was generating enough for me to be able to live and survive and take care of my family. And that's all I needed. And I needed to use that time to focus on the business so we can grow it to for it to fully achieve the potential that it's capable of achieving. And that's exactly what I did. I had a conversation with my wife, and my wife was like, it doesn't matter what it takes, go for it. Let's do it. I believe in what you guys are doing. Let's do it. And that's exactly what I did in March of 2024. Walked away from my full-time job as a nurse anesthetist to focus on building Excite Capital. And since that period of time, our company has grown significantly. Around that same period of time, my other partner, Tenny Tolofari, also left his job at Deloitte, and for us to focus in on this. At that point, we had maybe about 16 members total at Excite Capital. Right now, we have about 20. We had $168 million worth of acquisitions. Right now, we have 243 million with another $33 million acquisition under contract to be closed in the next few months. So that focus has actually helped us accelerate the growth of the platform. So that was necessary. I think it was the best decision we made, but it was one of the most difficult decisions I've ever made in my life.
Right, because it's very sensitive, right? It's your income provider. And you need to understand. You need to weigh the options because real estate it can take you years to find the deal. But again, it can take you years if you're not focused on 100%. But if you focus on it, and instead of 6 deals per week, you underwrite 6 deals per day, that's an impact, right? That's a whole difference. So
Absolutely.
instead of in 1 month, you can pack it all in 1 week. You can have 10 times more conversations and 10 times more meaningful stories between and to find investors and the deal itself, right? So tell us about your platform. You built a platform to help healthcare professional. Why is this mission so important for you? I know you're from this industry, right? But there's every other professions out there and all need help. Why you want to focus only on healthcare professionals?
That's a good question, Alex. And specifically, I'm focusing on like CRNA, Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist, right? Because that's the training that I had. And the platform is called the Empowered CRNA. So I really created this platform. The idea to create this platform came about a year ago, actually. So over the years, we've had a lot of investors from the healthcare community, with most of them being physicians because our CEO is an orthopedic surgeon. Then I got approached by other CRNAs. We were kind of like, dude, you doing this? Why are you not educating us in the CRNA community? A lot of us don't even know that this exists, right? A lot of us earn a lot of income, but we don't even know that this exists. And the more I dug in, I realized that, which is the same struggle that I had. We go to school, we work really hard to become a certified registered nurse anesthetist. It takes a certain level of discipline, takes a certain level of tenacity. You must have a certain level of intelligence and commitment to do that, right? So these are like very, very hardworking and disciplined people. But most of us get out of school and we start making all this money and we know nothing to do with it, right? And then we fall into the hands of like all these like so-called financial advisors that want to just put you in different things where they're making more money from it than you. So my goal is to empower my CRNA colleagues to have that understanding of what is available to them. Because what I've been able to discover on my own journey is there's so much more out there that once you understand it, apply yourself to it, you can leverage it to build significant amount of wealth for yourself, grow on your journey, or do whatever it is that you want to do. So my goal is to focus on that demographic and educate more CRNAs on what is available out there to them. As far as opportunities, whether it's starting a business, the necessary steps that you have to take to start a business, whether it's like investing in different assets and understanding that there are different investment vehicles that are available to you. Like over the last few months, I've spoken to a ton of CRNAs, a lot of them that um don't even like, a lot of them have the same issues. It's like, oh, I get out of school, I'm making all this money, I don't even know what to do with it. They make all this money and you just park it somewhere, and somebody is pushing it somewhere where they need to go. So my goal with that platform is to give the power back to the people who work extremely hard. I know what it took for me to become a CRNA. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of sacrifice. And my goal is to commit to that to that particular community, to share whatever lessons I learn along the way so that they could use it themselves and continue to grow for themselves and their families as well.
I think there's a lot of lessons into it, and let me unpack it for our listeners. I think his number one thing for you is just finding your community, right? Everyone has their own journey, their own path. One is electrician, one is plumber, another guy is a professor in college. Everyone has their own community, people that they talk to, they went to school with, they educated with. And you went through the same kind of process of struggle, of getting education, of getting a job, and going through day to day, 9 to 5, hustle and bustle. And now you can resonate with that community on a different frequency, on a different level. And this helps you to connect with them in a more meaningful way and share your experience in a more meaningful way. Because if you go to plumber and say, listen, I have this cool thing for you, you're like, oh, you just rich guy, you're just making so much money. Like, why do you even talk to me about this stuff? But no, and if you have a different community mindset, they know it's not about the money, but they spend so much time and energy, and education was so costly, and it took so much time and nights and efforts to go through this part because they can only resonate with you. And the lesson here for us listeners, find your niche, find your community, and it will be easier to connect with them and easier to interact and help them to get and to grow and to educate and maybe invest with you and help them to invest.
1000%. As long as much as we love to serve everybody, you truly cannot serve everybody, right? And as somebody who's walked down that shoes, I could speak to my colleagues in a way that they understand, in a way that they see it. And it's a huge demographic, it's a huge number of people. We still have a ton of other people that are getting in their career. And it's one of the hidden careers in healthcare that don't get a lot of credit for the work that we do, right? CRNAs, we wake up 5 a.m. to get to the hospital by 6 a.m. so that we could start preparing for surgeries, do a lot of surgeries every year, get people safely from beginning of their journey to waking them up at the end, so I believe that CRNAs deserve more. You go to school, get a job, you're earning a lot of income. So it's knowing how you could leverage that income to build yourself more. So you get to decide however way you want to live your life, whether you want to spend the life spending more time in the hospital or working wherever you want to, in your own terms. So that's my goal, to be able to provide a platform where other anesthesia providers can learn how to build a life that allows them to work and live in their own terms.
100%. And what do you think from your conversations with professionals on your level? What is the biggest misconception professionals have about investing in real estate?
So one of the misconceptions is one of the biggest struggles that a lot of people struggle with is the fact that is that understanding that I have to do it on my own, right? I think one of the biggest struggles that people have is this, like the lack of knowledge in understanding that real estate investing is not just about going to buy a house and putting a tenant in there. There's so many other ways that you could leverage yourself to invest in real estate, especially as majority of them qualify as accredited investors. So that actually gives them access to private real estate investments. I'm not talking about just multifamily. They could invest in office buildings, they could invest in stadiums, they could invest in other things. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions is like that understanding of what is truly available to them. There are ways that you could be 100% passive by investing in real estate. So it's really just that lack of knowledge and lack of exposure.
And multifamily and real estate, not only about toilets and tenants, it's about business in the first place, right? Creating
Absolutely.
a sustainable business around every property. And
Absolutely. And a lot of my colleagues, a lot of CRNAs don't understand that when you investing in a multifamily property, you're actually investing in a business, not as like real estate, right? They don't understand that you could actually influence the value of that business by how you manage it. Unlike when you have a single family home, the value of your home is based on comparables in your neighborhood. With multifamily investing, you're investing in a business. So if you're able to increase the revenue of that business, you increase the value of that business. And if you could tell me anywhere in the US where rents have gone down over the last 10 years, then I'll give you $1, So, and that's one of the reasons why I love this asset class and this space, and it's a great space to be in.
yeah, no, 100%. But still, a lot of people have a lot of mind blocks, right? Roadblocks. And it's good that you're educating people, but how do you overcome just general mind blocks? Like, hey, I don't have time. I need to take ownership I need to take ownership of my financial future. How do you switch mentalities that people thinking only about problems versus thinking about opportunity?
So we show them, right? That's one of the things that we've started doing. Like instead of just talking to you and telling you about all of this, we show you exactly what has been done, what others are doing. And so you actually see the evidence of this is already happening around you. And others like you are already doing exactly the same thing. And it's not going to take like some extraordinary effort for you to do exactly the same thing. And what we found is when people are able to see that, not just as a concept, but actually see the evidence of that happening around them, the light bulb goes off and they're like, oh my God, I mean, I want to do this, I want to do that. So that's what we've been doing lately is like showing them like step by step on how this happens. For example, we had due diligence on our latest acquisition, and we actually invited some investors to come participate, see exactly what you're investing in, how all of this works, and that made a lot of sense to most of them.
I think this is like the new generation, right? And new wave of being open. It's like building startups and open, the same building your business and open, communicate, open book. And hey, listen, I welcome you to come and check what we do. I welcome you to see our back end, how work. We fully transparent, and we welcome to show you that it's not that scary as you might think of it. And I think it's important. A lot of people still like feel weird about social media and hey, I'm too private, this is my business. But if you want to be successful, you have to get out there, you have to put out yourself out there and to show to the world, hey, I'm buying this asset, I'm selling this asset, I'm making this much money for my investors. And I think this is what building momentum in nowadays today operations. So tell me, how's your social media journey with Excite Capital? Were you guys open from the day one, trying to show the progress, walk in the doors, or did you have to grow to it?
Man, I struggled with that a lot because I consider myself an introvert. So putting myself out there was something that I had to fight myself to be able to do. But it's one of those things where you come to the understanding of the kind of economy that we're dealing with these days, right? And you got to do whatever is necessary to grow your business forward. And it also helped to be in the midst of other people that are building businesses as well. People that are more private, more quiet, more introverted than you, and you see them doing exactly the same thing, and they explain exactly the same thing to you. Now, here's the thing, right? You have something of value you want to offer to the marketplace. You have people that need that value. It's not about you anymore. You got to get yourself out of the equation, and that's what I had to do. Pull myself out of the equation. It's about the value that I have to offer to. So if I'm sitting here and telling you, Alex, I want to serve the CRNA community. I want to help thousands of CRNAs achieve financial freedom. And then I'm afraid to go explain to them what I have available out there. Then I'm lying, right? I'm lying to myself and I'm lying to you. And that is the realization that I had to come to. Most of information today is consumed online. That's the fact. And it's only going to get worse over time. So if you want to reach the people that you want to serve, you have to be online. You have to create content. You have to create a thought leadership platform. And once I understood that, no turning back. This is what needs to get done. We get it done. So when we started in the beginning, we didn't want to do a lot of marketing, like personal branding marketing, social media marketing. But once we realized that that was needed for us to be able to grow the platform, we went all in. We went all in, all three of us went all in and have been building, getting better, improving along the way. And that has completely transformed our business, right? It has given us the opportunity to be able to serve even more people, and I don't even think we are at 10% of where we need to be when it comes to social media and putting stuff out there. But we'll keep growing. We'll keep getting better along the way. And hopefully we could expose more people to what is possible and they could see in us a journey that they could take themselves. They could see in some of the opportunities that we offer a place where they could come in and grow wealth as well. So for us, it's like whatever it takes to get to the people who want to serve, we'll keep doing it. And social media is definitely, definitely very important to that.
And I think key lessons from here, like we talked in the beginning, everything takes time. And don't think, guys, like to our listeners, don't think that Leslie came here and he's like so cool right now talking about his journey about real estate. He's knowledgeable and he understands. He has the right words to express his ideas. It didn't come right away. It didn't come right away. Understanding of the process, understanding the right words to put to get to people to so people can better understand your head, understand what's going on in your head, and how you can translate your thoughts into real meaningful, story, and to imply and to move others to work with, right?
Yep. It happens over time. It keeps getting better. The Leslie you see today is not going to be the Leslie you're going to see 10 years from now. The only thing that would not improve is that would stop me from improving is if I stop, which I don't intend to. The only day I stop is the day I'm going to die. So again, it's a constant improvement, constant improvement. And one of the lines that I learned from one of my mentors is like the first time you do anything, you're worst at it. That is just like a line that I take in everything that we do. There's still some things right now that there's still some spaces right now or some goals that, when we step into, it's like, oh, this is new. You got to figure it out, and then you try it. 2 weeks later, you fail. 3 weeks later, you fail. 4 weeks later, you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then you try it. And then you fail. And then Try it, keep getting better, keep getting better. So that's right. Being comfortable talking like this or having a podcast like you with you didn't come overnight. This is not the first conversation that I've had. The first one was definitely very awkward than this one. So, but doing it over time, over time, over time, it gets better. The only way you get better is by doing more, and it takes
Yep,
time.
100%. My first podcast, I was so nervous. I don't say just conversation one to one. I was nervous. I was moving on my screen. It's just, and it took me 2 months to redact it, to probably do a good video and cut it properly to the designs that we like today. It first episode took us 2 months, and then slower. Now it takes a few days to do the whole scene and production. And this is a process, right? It's path of progress. This is why the podcast is called Path of Progress, because it takes time to get from point A to B and to C and so on. But moving to the right direction. This is what actually making the whole progress is the action, is moving to the right pieces. So Leslie, I want to ask you. I know you saying that you're gonna progress every day, and I like it, and I think this is the right mentality and approach, and you've proven yourself being a leader in the space and super successful real estate entrepreneur. But tell us, what is your future goal, your vivid vision for Excite Capital for the next 5 years?
So for the next 5 years, we want to get to $5 billion worth of assets acquired across our portfolio, and that's our goal star. That's what we're shooting for the next 5 years.
So this is 20x of your existing portfolio?
Correct.
Wow. Okay. We'll have to record this episode in a few years. I would love to follow along the progress, but it's very ambitious. But you know what? I believe everything's possible, right? There is no, like you said in the beginning, there is no limit. The sky's the limit, and you just keep progressing. As long as you're passionate about it and you keep growing, everything is possible. Now, Leslie, tell me, what do you think is the biggest opportunity right now in real estate for professionals that want to start on their own path of progress and start all this journey?
I think one of the biggest opportunities right now is like looking into multifamily or commercial real estate, because most experts believe that where we sit at right now when it comes to multifamily investing is where residential real estate was in like 2008, 2009. Because, and this is the part that a lot of people mainstream does not even know that this is happening in the space. We're seeing assets that are being sold right now at a significant discount because of the changes in interest rates. Back when in 2021, when interest rates went to zero, a lot of operators bought deals with like variable rate debt, and that interest rate has skyrocketed. And a lot of those properties are getting foreclosed upon right now, which is putting a lot of pressure in the space. And now we're seeing really, really good assets coming to market at discounted rates. There's nothing wrong with the assets, it's just the market has softened. So I think now is the time to educate yourself about multifamily assets. Now is the time to educate yourself on how you can passively invest in these assets and start creating wealth for yourselves. And in addition to that, the president passed the big beautiful bill, which brought back accelerated depreciation. So you can invest in these assets and not just create wealth. You can invest in these assets and get into these assets at a discount, but you also get significant tax benefits that you could all accelerate and claim in the very first year. So now is the time to educate yourself on how these investments work, how to pick the right investments, how to pick the right sponsors, and how to structure yourself to fully capitalize on the tax benefits that come along with investing in these assets. A lot of the larger institutions are doing exactly the same thing. You too should be doing that right now. If there's ever been a time for you to learn about passively investing in multifamily assets, that time is now. There's a lot of opportunities that is coming to the marketplace. Do not miss out on it.
And especially also if you want to invest actively in the space, it's a good way to start investing passively. So you can go in and you can ask operator how to do, how does everything work? Network, right? Everyone looking for passive investors. So it's for you will be much easier as an operator to become active investor after you've done some passive investments, build your network, and then you can understand what is the process, what are the steps. Because operators like Leslie is open book, right? And he will welcome and educate everyone on his processes, on his journey, and how he done it And if at some point you will, as a passive investor today, in future you'll decide to do your own deal, I'm sure you'll be able to partner up with Leslie, because he is trying to grow to 5 billion in the next 5 years. He would welcome any other operators who would bring him the deal, who would bring him investors. And I think this industry has such a huge potential of JVing, collaborating, partnerships, and it's just sky's the limit. But what you need to do, you need to start taking action, start moving to this direction. You want to be financial free at some point in the future, start moving to this direction, educate yourself, listen to podcasts, and go to meetups and meet people like Leslie. I think that's very important.
You hit the nail on the head, Alex. I love what you just said, because the reason why we set so big of an ambitious goal is because we understand that the only way to get there is by building others, is by creating others, is by partnering with others. There's no way that Dr. Oni, Tenny, and myself can get to 5 billion of assets acquired without partnering with others. So our platform is open for anybody that is willing to learn, that want to take on this journey. We've already started on that path. We've already created help other platforms come up from nowhere that are building and doing exactly the same thing that we're doing, going out and acquiring assets themselves or partnering with us to acquire these assets. So there's more than enough to go around. There's a lot of opportunity coming into the marketplace. So reach out to us. Let's partner. Let's work together. Let's go out and capitalize on these opportunities that are coming.
Love it. Leslie, I have only a few last questions for you. So first and foremost, quick hits, lightning round. So whatever first comes to your mind, let us know. One book or resource that shaped your real estate mindset.
I'll say Second Chance at Your Money in Your Life by Robert Kiyosaki. That was the book that really opened up my mind to what was possible. And since then, I've read several other books that has helped me in my growth. But that is the book that I'll give a lot of credit to.
It's not very typical. Usually people start with Rich Dad Poor Dad, with Cash Flow Quadrant, especially your book, your game Cash Flow
Yes.
is right there. But this is something new. Okay, very good. Most important trait a business leader, real estate leader should develop.
Tenacity. That's the ability to keep going. Doesn't matter what kind of obstacles that you meet along the way, you keep pushing. Tenacity is key. I think that could get you through. Every business owner needs a high level of tenacity because business is challenging and you're going to meet a lot of obstacles along the way. But if you have that vision to keep going, that strength to keep going, you could overcome a lot of things and lead to a lot of growth.
Entrepreneurship is hard, right? You get punches so many times that sometimes you need to just roll with the punches, and that's what it is. You stand
Exactly.
up and you keep going, and just stand up again, keep going. Where if you stand up every time, then you'll get to your destination one sooner or later. Very good. Okay, one thing you wish you knew earlier in your real estate journey.
Man, I wish I knew earlier in my real estate journey that this asset class called like that it was possible for us to buy apartment buildings. I wish I knew that earlier. I would have started on that journey much earlier.
I think it's one of the biggest misconceptions when you walk in. Everyone think American dream is just buying one house. Then you open up your box, but you never think in the beginning, hey, I can buy large apartment complexes. You get it for like it's scary to think about those
Yeah.
numbers in the beginning, but people forget that it's about business. It's about building partnerships and building an ecosystem to get down for this way. Like in the ancient times, caveman, they didn't hunt the mammals, right? Just by themselves. They had a group of people. Like, hey, let's get this large animal together. Otherwise, it'll be gone. But I think that's very important here. Okay, final question for you, Leslie. If someone to reach out to you, if they have a deal, if they want to partner up, or if they want to invest in one of your deals, what is the best way to reach out to you?
The best way is like on any of the social media platforms. Just search Leslie Awasom. That's Leslie. Last name is Awasom as in Mary. I am on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, same name everywhere. Just reach out to me, send me a DM, send me a message. I'll be more than grateful to connect with you and look forward to having conversations and identifying areas where we could partner and grow together.
Love it. Love it. Leslie, thank you so much again for coming. This is all from me. This was very inspiring and powerful story. Thank you for sharing your walk through how you went from healthcare to multifamily, commingling two jobs at the same time, and then decided, hey, to take this leap and take your financial freedom it's your own hands and make it happen for you and all the people around you, and empowering communities of CRNA, of like-minded people, to become better version of themselves and become financial free.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And to everyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and leave us a review. We'll drop off all Leslie links in resources in the show notes below. And as always, keep moving forward.